Have you ever put on your favorite outfit, feeling confident, only to look in the mirror and realize something's just not right? It might feel like your proportions are off, or perhaps something makes you appear shorter and less defined. Isn't just your imagination. There are real clothing mistakes that can cause these effects, making you look shorter or lose your natural elegance. Today, we're going to dive into some of the most common fashion mistakes women over 60 make, and how to fix them so you can maintain your natural beauty and confidence. As our bodies change over time, choosing the right clothes is key to keeping a timeless, youthful, and elegant look. Let's explore some simple tips to help you avoid these fashion missteps and always feel your best. Oversized clothing is one of the most common mistakes many women over 60 make. While oversized clothes are often seen as comfortable and casual, they can have a significant downside. They can bury you in the fabric, hiding your natural shape. When you wear clothes that are too loose, key areas like your waistline and curves get lost, which can make you look shorter and less defined. Many women think that loose clothing will hide problem areas or give them a youthful edge. But the reality is the opposite. Long dresses or loose jackets may not just make you look shorter, but they also lack the structure needed to create a polished look. Instead of enhancing your body, oversized clothing can overwhelm it, giving the impression that you're lost in your clothes. The solution is simple. Opt for structured clothing that highlights your natural shape. A well-fitted jacket or a dress with a cinched waist can help elongate your frame, creating a sleek and elegant look. These structured pieces offer soft definition, making you look taller and more put together without sacrificing comfort. I remember a friend of mine tried on an oversized coat once. While it was comfortable, she quickly realized it made her look shorter and gave her no shape. After switching to a coat with a bit more structure, she immediately looked taller and more defined, which boosted her confidence. Choosing structured clothing isn't just about comfort. It's about enhancing your natural shape and creating a more balanced, flattering silhouette. With the right fit and structure, you can look more refined, feel more confident, and still enjoy the comfort of your clothes. Footwear can make a huge difference in how you look and feel. One common mistake many women over 60 make is choosing shoes that aren't flattering, particularly styles with ankle straps. These types of shoes create a horizontal line across the ankle, which can visually shorten the legs and break up the flow of your body. Instead of elongating your figure, ankle straps often make your legs appear shorter and less defined. To solve this problem, opt for shoes with pointed toes and colors that blend with your skin tone. Pointed toe shoes create a seamless line, making your legs look longer and leaner. Neutral tones like nude, beige, or shades close to your skin color will help elongate the legs, as opposed to shoes with a stark contrast that can shorten your frame. For example, swapping out ankle strap shoes for a pair of nude high heels immediately makes you look taller and more streamlined. This simple change not only boosts your confidence, but also enhances your overall silhouette, creating a longer, more elegant appearance. Choosing the right shoes can not only improve your look, but also make you feel more confident and comfortable in your own skin. Maxi dresses are a popular fashion choice for their comfort and elegant flow. However, if not chosen carefully, they can make you lose your shape, especially when the dress is too loose or too long without any waist definition. An oversized maxi dress can make you appear shorter and less proportionate, and without a defined waist, it can hide your natural curves, leaving your body looking shapeless. To fix this, opt for a maxi dress with a cinched waist or one with a slit to create movement and elongate your figure. A dress with a defined waist will highlight your curves and give you a slimmer, more polished look. A slit will add flow and lightness to the outfit, preventing it from feeling heavy while also creating the illusion of longer legs. For example, I helped a client choose a maxi dress with a cinched waist, and the result was immediate. She received countless compliments for looking taller and more graceful. Not only did she feel more confident, but she also loved how comfortable and flattering the dress was throughout the day. Choosing the right maxi dress can enhance your silhouette and boost your confidence. It's all about selecting the right fit that works with your natural shape, making you look taller, leaner, and more refined. Oversized prints can make a bold statement, but if not chosen carefully, they can make you appear smaller and disrupt the overall balance of your outfit. Large, bold patterns can overpower your frame, hiding your natural shape and causing a cluttered, chaotic look. Instead of accentuating your figure, oversized prints can detract from your silhouette, leaving you feeling overwhelmed by your clothes. To avoid this, opt for smaller, more delicate prints like polka dots, thin stripes, or simple patterns. These subtle designs help maintain a sense of balance and elegance, allowing your natural shape to shine through without overwhelming your frame. For example, choosing a top with a small polka dot pattern can make you look refined and elegant, helping you feel confident and polished. Selecting the right print is essential for creating a well-balanced look. It not only defines your personal style, but also enhances your natural shape, making you appear taller and more graceful. Crop jackets can add a youthful and trendy touch to your outfit, but if not chosen carefully, they can make you appear shorter. When a jacket cuts off at the waist or hips, it can disrupt your body's natural proportions, making you look stumpy and out of balance. Without proper structure, a crop jacket can also hide your shape rather than enhancing it. To fix this, opt for well-fitted, longer jackets that create a streamlined look. A longer jacket, like a trench coat or a tailored blazer, will give you a taller, more elongated appearance. Jackets with structure, those with defined shoulders and a slight cinch at the waist, will help accentuate your shape and keep you looking proportional. A longer jacket creates a continuous vertical line which helps elongate your frame. For example, when I helped a client choose a jacket that hit at the waist instead of a cropped option, the difference was striking. She looked taller and more put together and felt much more confident in the outfit. Choosing the right jacket can significantly impact how your body looks. A well-structured, longer jacket not only flatters your shape, but also creates a polished, elegant appearance that boosts your overall confidence. The length of your clothing can greatly impact your overall appearance. When clothes are the wrong length, they can make you look shorter and out of proportion. Pants that are too long can drown you in fabric, while those that are too short can create an unflattering cut, making you appear shorter and less balanced. To avoid this, it's best to choose pants or skirts with a moderate length, not too long and not too short. Opting for ankle-length pants or a midi skirt is an ideal choice, as it helps elongate the body and creates a more streamlined look. The right length of pants or skirts will create a continuous line, enhancing your natural figure and giving you a taller, leaner appearance. Choosing clothing with the right length doesn't just flatter your body, it also boosts your confidence. With the right fit, you'll look taller, more elegant, and feel more comfortable in your style. In this video, we've explored some of the most common fashion mistakes women over 60 often make. These mistakes can make you look shorter or less graceful, but the good news is they're easy to fix. By selecting clothing with proper structure and that fits your body proportions, you'll always look confident and elegant. Remember, fashion isn't just about looking good, it's about how you feel in your clothes. Be confident, embrace your personal style, and choose pieces that highlight your natural beauty. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'd love to hear about your favorite outfits. Share them in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your thoughts and tips.